Okay, welcome. This is Athena StarSeed and Elitom El-amin, and we are doing our Pranic StarBody activation lecture series. And believe it or not, we're on 9, which is amazing. I love the number 9, completion. And so I'm going to open up with prayer, and then we're going to get started with our juicy topic today. So take a nice deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men and women. Let the light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men and women. May the Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center, where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men and women. The center which the masters know and serve, and may it seal the door where doubt dwells. May the plan of love, light, and power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, please be here in the sacred circle of light. Allow Elitom, El-amin, and Athena StarSeed to be clear channels. Amen and amen. Amen. So the topic is natural and supernatural.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm loving it. Natural and supernatural. Now, we are on this thing right now in humanity where we're talking about more of eating natural foods, which is wonderful. And that's dealing with organic or things that nature provided. We understand that. But there's been this word that's been coined for a long time that's talking about supernatural. Now, that's something totally different, but it's the same thing. But that's dealing with more of a putting a consciousness with the things that are natural, that you'll get a whole nother response for it. In other words, I heard a teacher say one time, just because somebody eat a carrot, that's one thing. But if they eat the carrot with a certain type of consciousness that goes along with it, the carrot has another effect on the organism. See, we got to understand that we have a gift inside of us. And in the esoteric circles, they call it the master builder. In other words, they're saying that the Adamic consciousness has the power to give things purpose, to give things an identity. So that's why we humans, we're experts at taking nature, rearranging it, and we got this thing called man-made things. We are one animal that can take things and transform the environment for our favor. So that's a gift that we have. Giving things purpose, a function, identity. So when we go into the supernatural stages, that's just a person who's becoming aware of this gift that they have, and they're taking their whole vibration to a whole nother level. So it goes beyond just the eating foods. There's a consciousness on the thought process to mix with it, so we can bring on a whole identity, a whole function, and go into a whole nother light. Now I want to hear your take on this. This is good.
Well, my take is coming off that wonderful kirtan that I experienced at the beach last night. And I went home and I started rereading Autobiography of a Yogi. And,
oh, wonderful.
And in one of the chapters, it talks about frequency and sound and how in your spinal column, the frequency gets turned on in the spine, and then you have extrasensory perception. Now, it's indigenous to our species, but we don't have it open because it's dormant in the spine. And so a way to get there is to tune back in to the highest frequencies, which you're talking to us about. When we withdraw from food, we tune our bodies back up into that sound, and then the sound can open up and we have access to natural abilities that to most become supernatural only because they might be more rare. And after they happen all the time, then that miracle goes into normality.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that. Right now we call things miracles, but they're not miracles. Those are things we're supposed to be doing. So this is wonderful. And you're talking about these basically, this spinal cord. And I'm glad you brought that up. You know how on a last series, or the series before all of this, we kept talking about this sexual cultivation of energy, this SEX. Now, when you look up the definition, it just deals with gender, male and female, and stuff like this. But in the esoteric circles, S deals with spinal cord, E deals with energy, and X deals with exchange. There's a spinal energy exchange that's taking place that will actually raise the vibration of the organism that you're talking about, and it's going to turn on these things. And the pituitary gland, which is shaped like a vagina, and the pineal gland was shaped like a penis. That's what they call the marriage of the lamb when it comes up this spinal cord. So going back into the supernatural, let's use another word. In sports, there's always a superstar on the team. Now, he's a little different than the rest of the players because it seemed like he always make the big play. He never have a really bad game because it seemed like the ball or whatever sport they're playing always come to that person. They always make this big play because the ball came to him. But see, in that person's thinking, what makes them a superstar, they believe in themselves. They believe in a thing that they're doing. They know they can make the shot. They know they can score. They don't choke up. So this is what type of belief we got to have in ourselves as we bring back this, whatever word you want to use, a God consciousness, Buddha consciousness, Christ consciousness, Adamic consciousness. But you have to believe or know. Let's don't take out that word believe. No, you have to become the knower of who you are. So as we go on this journey of becoming food free, and we're opening up those glands that's in us, we're coming more in a society where we're learning more about energy flow. And that's what we're dealing with when we're dealing with these frequencies of vibration. That's what it's all about. So when you eat less food, your vibration in your body is automatically, by its nature, is going to go up. And then your nature will go into that super nature or that supernatural. And then those things we call miracles is no longer a miracle. We have a consciousness that can do anything, that can create you a better life, a better eyesight, a better perception. Heal yourself, heal others, heal the environment. And this is what we're seeking, and this is what we want.
So I want to get really specific with supernatural. And I want to say that every single one of us is supernatural. We're born supernatural. And so I want to share a dream that I had. And I had heard in your last video that you said sometimes people aren't ready to go right to a dry fast for 4 days. And we're getting letters, should I dry fast? Should I practice? Should I whatever? And I said, listen to all of his videos and then do the best thing for yourself. Now, when I'm saying this, sometimes our ego spiritually wants more than our body can handle. And so that's when we suffer and we push ourselves beyond. Now, my personal experience is last week I did a half a day, like you said, dry fast. And then I was hungry and I started suffering and I ate. I felt good. And then the beginning of this week, I did 24 hours from 9 p.m. to 9 p.m. And then at 9 p.m. I was suffering and I ate and I felt good. Then 2 days ago, I did 2 full days of dry fast. And last night at 5:30, I couldn't pick up my harmonium. And I was like, oh my gosh, I hit the wall. And I said, no, you gave me so much energy. And I was like, surrender. So I got the green drink and the raw kale and I surrendered to the sunset and I sang the kirtan. And today, Guru Day, which is Guru Be You, your own master, Thursday, I started again with my dry fast. So I'm getting back and seeing if I can go 2.5 days or 3 days. And then if I suffer, I'm going to eat because you said my body might not be ready. Now, here is the vision that I want to share with you. About 15 years ago, I'm laying in my bed, I'm meditating, and I'm saying to the cosmos, I would like to see the Akashic records. I would like to have an experience of the Akashic records. I lay down and I'm meditating. And then all of a sudden, this yogi with a turban, white turban on his head, naked with a little wrap around him, shows up vertically over my bed, okay? Dream, vision, I don't know, but I was in this meditation and he opens this huge book and he shows me these words that are moving like in golden script, this text. And I say to him in my mind, it's too big. It should be a microchip. The universe can't fit in a book. Now that doesn't make any sense. He looked at me with compassion and he was like, He pulls me out of my body, out of my astral body, vertically through his body. And here's where I get electrocuted. Ah, shut it down, shut it down. So much energy. All this electricity was like burning out my fiber optics in my whole system. And I said,
Right.
Boom, it went away and it shut down. And what I realized was I was asking for something that I had no vibration to hold. I didn't have the reception. It would have burnt my whole system up. So talk about that with fasting.
Absolutely. When I was in New York, there's a group that I was with. They're on their way to Romania to go see this other master. And as they're going to go see the master, a lot of them been there before last year. And the master gave them instructions to build up their physical body. Because in order to grab these higher energies, you need a vehicle that can hold and maintain that type of consciousness. Because consciousness is energy. We got to understand this. Now, there's a thing called psychic abilities. But keep in mind, psychic is mental. But then we got another word we play with called soul. And this is where the problem is at. The psychic is in the mind, but the soul is in the body, even though we know they're one. And a human being has to build up their soul body so they can get these soul abilities so you can bring a whole lot more energy in. So that's why some people get confused. They'll say, well, there's a lot of people who's working with the light and they're not food free, they're not this. Well, they learned how to develop their psychic abilities. Everybody has it. Nobody's arguing that. But when you deal on the bigger ball games where you want to bring in more energy, you have to upgrade the vehicle. Just like you're upgrading your computer at home, or you upgrade a piece of equipment, because this is a bio machine. And like the last retreat I had, I gave them an example where there was the 120 watt plug in the wall. And there's certain equipment that can take that wattage coming out the wall. But there's certain equipment that's way bigger, needs a whole lot more electricity. That 120 watts is not going to turn on that piece of equipment. So as I'm saying all of this, I hope people can catch this, because I know our ego gets in the way. I can handle it. Let me see. No, there's so much power in this atmosphere that we're sitting in. Your body is doing you a favor by giving you enough that you can handle. That's why the universe is user-friendly. So that's why we keep saying this thing called spiritual cultivation or energy cultivation. Cultivation is a word that they use in agriculture. And when you're building a plant, the plant is too weak for certain things. So you have to take care of it. Make sure it's in the right soil. Make sure it's getting the right water. Keep the weeds away until that plant gets stronger and it can take care of itself. So we're delicate like that too in the universe. If you want to bring on this consciousness, you understand, you have to cultivate yourself, and meditation is the tools for that. Meditation is the tools to build up this soul body so it can bring on more of this consciousness. And then when you start bringing it on, energy does not end. And there's so much that we can be, because you're going to go from enlightenment to enlightenment to enlightenment. And don't make it spooky. You're just going to be going from upgrade to upgrade to upgrade. And this is a good age we're in that we have this information.
So what's exciting to me is that when I was fasting yesterday, dry fasting, which is no water, no food, and every time I wanted to eat something, I sang or I listened to a mantra. I have a couple mantras that I listen to that remind me of my breatharianism, why I'm doing it, what I'm doing. And then when I was contemplating, I was meditating at the sun at sunset before I was going to take my first drink of something after basically almost 2 days of dry fasting. I was remembering, when you're not ready, go gently. Elitom says it's a process. Don't beat yourself up, because you're not going to be a happy breatharian. So go as far as you can. And then when it's time to get off, you have to get off, and then you begin again. And so I want to show you the picture of the example, because this is the vision that came to me. If you can see that, there's.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, so there's me. Here's me laying in the bed. If you can look right now, here's me laying in the bed. This is the vision coming over me, opening up the Akashic records, and it's like presence and presenting pre-visions. And when I got like electrocuted, you can see my hair's like electrocuted and all these vibrations are coming off my body. I realized, first of all, my ego. Ego is density. When you're dense in your ego, when I'm telling this yogi after I said, show me something, and then he shows it to me, and then I argue and go, no, 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 you're wrong. I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. He went, that density is why you're getting electrocuted right now, and you can't receive the information that you're actually asking for. And so
Absolutely.
with the dry fasting, that's what I found. Like I was pushing my vehicle further than I was actually humble enough to receive the frequency.
Absolutely. Because we are creatures of habit. And this is why I always say perfect practice leads to perfection. So we have to take it slow. Don't burn yourself out, because we're in this electromagnetic universe and this vehicle is here. It will do it by its nature. It just needs you to love it, to cultivate it, and let it slowly take on these subtle energies a little bit at a time. Now, the good part is you'll be surprised how fast you'll develop. It's like what happened to humanity is it's like a rubber band. They stretch themselves out of shape. You understand? But as soon as you let go of the rubber band and it snaps back to the source, it's going to go back to the source, but it'll go quick as it goes back into its form. So all you have to do is stay consistent and allow this energy to slowly build up. And when it gets to a certain degree, you will know it. It'll become fun then. You could go a lot longer. You take on more energy. And sometimes people be around me and I got to remind them, I've been doing this for a long time, so it looks easy as the body's taking on these energies automatically. You understand? But it don't end. Just take it slow and keep on developing. It gets good. Because any physicist on this planet right now would not disagree that we are, our bodies work with light, work with electricity, from the eyes, from the throat when we send out sound, from the blood flow. All of this is working with the light, but it just needs to grow, because we're growing beings. Just like we went from in a physical body from a baby to an adult, there's a thing in the spiritual circles, where they call somebody a spiritual babe. It ain't got nothing to do with age you are. If you haven't been in the energy game, you could be 50, 60, 70. They'll call you a babe because the body didn't really get developed or cultivated yet. But as soon as you get in that ball game, you'll begin to grow. And then you will see the food part, that will come, where it will get very little. And then you could go to the levels of none at all, because it's all about energy. Food is just condensed light, but you want to go more into the subtle forces, because that's why the pharaohs of Egypt said the Ka body was over the Ba. And the Ka, the light body, nourishes, feeds, and sustains the physical body. See, this civilization that we live on, there's no coincidence that we had that pyramid on a dollar bill. This is sitting on top of that other civilization. It ain't like Egypt left. It's always been here for those who can see. And we're just waking up now to resurrect the knowledge that's already been here.
So what I want to put at the bottom of this clip, I'm going to put a little movie clip and a reference to this book, because this is Paramahansa Yogananda. He's just an average man, and basically he had to purify his body temple to receive higher vibrations. And in here, he does supernatural things, only because to the average man who doesn't purify their temple and get their house in order, they don't have access to that supernatural. But when you read this book, you go, wow, you mean my car has an operating system that does this? Yes, we all do. And so when you're talking about the tree of life is your spinal column, and you're pushing that light up so that you can actually open up all the different channels so that you don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to be drug around by your desires, or be a slave of your mind, or be a slave to your body, or be a slave to your emotions. So I want to talk about, and some people call it sadhana, which is a practice, but I want to talk about the practice of preparing your body to be a breatharian. And you said qigong, very important, moving the energy, meditation, quieting the mind so that you have room to have reception to hear the sound of the universe as all creation. And then the practice of being disciplined with your knowledge. You said, this is called jhana yoga, but for you, you're like, look, you got 500 videos right now on breatharianism. If you're just starting and you're a baby, go back to the beginning. You can watch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every day to the level of your allowing and reception. Because when I watch your videos, I'm less hungry because my mind is making sense of getting more energy from not using my waste to digest. I don't have to waste energy digesting. I can receive. So I'm going to put a clip to the movie Awake. I'm going to put a clip to this book. It's on audio. You can listen to it for free if you can't afford it. And then I want you to talk about how you shifted your body over and how long did it take you to finally it just left you?
I'm glad you brought all of this up. This is right online. Some woman just messaged me not too long ago, Elitom, give me some reading material that I can read. Now, I didn't even answer her yet, and you just basically coming right now saying that. So yes, she needs to read that book because it's very important on the study. Now, we'll get to the study in a minute here. Let's go to the meditations. All meditations, whether it's light, sound, vibration, its main goal is to open up the energy centers within our bodies. We have energy centers all over our bodies. Everywhere there's a bend in the body, that's an energy center. So the more you relax and allow the light to cleanse and detoxify the body, because that's what the light is doing. It's actually opening up those energy centers so that it can bring in more light into the body. It's like rewiring a house, rewiring a vehicle. In this process, this is a must for being on this path. Meditation is medication. And there was a yogi once said, a man who does not meditate cannot be wise, because light is information again. That brings on whole new information to transform you, to bring on this transformation. Now to get in the study. Our minds and the way we think is very, very important. Whatever you're digesting with your mind, so what would a man think if so is he. So even when we was learning our first phase of knowledge, it was through repetition when you went to school. The teacher would talk to you, make you do homework to get that program in you so you could carry out that new function. So vice versa, when we get into the realms of spirituality, there's a scripture that says, study thyself to show yourself approved. In other words, you're going to start, study is the mechanism to reprogram the mind with the repetition, keep going over it, to give you a chance to think differently. And then pretty soon that new thought process, you will pick it up. You'll start talking differently, thinking differently. And this is what's needed, but you have to have something in you where, okay, I can talk and say one thing, but take this study for yourself. Now, when you deal with a study in your life, there's a physical study. When you get a practice, you know, that's your meditation, whether it's yoga, qigong, or whatever. But then there's that theoretical study, and those two must come together because we're bringing together how the scriptures are saying heaven and earth, your mind and your body. See, right now, the average person, their mind and their body is separated. So that's why earlier I was talking about, yeah, the psychic abilities is in the mind, but the soul abilities is in the body. And people haven't been having the soul abilities because they don't know what it is, don't know how to activate it. But now we're talking about the center of your being, which is that spinal cord, which is very important. It needs those vibrational frequencies to slowly up themselves, and it will by its nature. Look at that word nature. So it can go into its supernatural abilities. So again, this meditation and this this study is two key things. Now, somebody just asked me too about physical exercise. Yes, because your physical body, again, is just dense physical energy. It's just atoms that are moving a lot slower. So even a person who just exercise, if it's walking, if it's running, if it's any type of exercise like that, a person will say, I gained more energy than before. That's just common sense. So don't be shy on bringing the physical body, the mental body, and the energetic body all together as one package. So this is a whole holistic lifestyle, bringing everything together to raise your vibration. And you will know without a shadow of doubt your vibration is raising, because there'll be a time when you'll go on a fast. You understand? And I don't like using that word fast, but we know what we're talking about because it's like stressful. But I call it a pranic day, where you'll will last a lot longer. You'll stay on that frequency a lot longer. And that's the indication right there that your body's bringing in more prana. Your energy will increase, where it'll be, you'll have less sleep because your body will get healthier. You need more sleep in the beginning because the body's trying to heal itself. That's okay. But once you start getting healed more and more, you'll stay up more and more. And then last but not least, and this is very important, your weight will get to a point where it will stay at that weight. It will stagnate itself. It won't drop no lower. Right now, I maintain a weight of 120 pounds, and it stays around that range all the time. So this is wonderful. But before, keep in mind, I started at 190 once upon a time. But if I would have dropped from 190 to 120 real fast, it wouldn't have looked good. Everybody around would have said, but I took my time in increments, 170, maintained that for a while, 160, maintained that for a while, 150, maintained, because your body ain't doing nothing wrong. It's like a genie in a lamp. And the thing about it, it got unlimited wishes. It just ain't got 3, but it just needs time to catch up because it's vibrating at a lower frequency than our thought process. So that's why you want to give it time, and it's like a little kid. It will come along, but just talk to your body, talk to yourself. And the best way to do it is by reading these books, because whatever your mind is feeding, your body is listening.
I just want to say this. When you read something like this, and it can be anything, it can be the Upanishads, it can be the Guru Gita, anything, but when you read a text that calls your soul to meet the universe and have this coherency, what happens is you start seeing that everything is connected. Now, I read this book 20 years ago. I mean, literally, okay? And within a month, was it 20? It might have been 15, 20 years ago. And within a month of reading this book, Yogananda Paramahansa's sister's great-grandson, Sujan, ended up booking a retreat with me and stayed in my house and did a 40-day boot camp detox and lost 40 pounds. Now, I had said to him, oh, I just finished reading this really great book. You should read it. He goes, my great uncle wrote that book. And he was from Canada. And I was like, are you kidding me? I just attracted you into my field. And he did pranic energy transfers. And so he was kind of teaching me that there is an energy, there is a connection to everywhere. But at the time, even when I read it, I didn't understand it. And so when you're saying, here you have an understanding at 190, here you have an understanding at 170, here you have an understanding at 120, like we cannot handle, like in this, I got electrocuted. I was electrocuted by this guy because my spinal column didn't have my body open enough to receive as much prana that could hold the electricity. Like you said, like electricity socket, it would have blown the fuse. It would have blown the fuse. And so here's what I want to say to everybody listening. Go at your own pace. Don't push the river. Read your wisdom knowledge. Watch the wisdom videos of Elitom, El-amin. Like allow your body to slowly upgrade the light so that you can handle the current when it finally comes in, and don't beat yourself. Just love yourself.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that. See, when I go around teaching, I'm just basically reminding people, see, everybody's all on their journey. They're on a spiritual journey or energetic journey because we're energetic beings. And you'd be surprised how many people, like I'll be at their house or something, they say, I got that book sitting at the house, or, you know, on something I'm talking about. I read it before, but now let me go get it again, because we're growing in our understanding. So this is a good thing where you can get reminded, and it's basically you've been on the path, you just didn't know it, but you had to wait for that time for you to come through another door so you can grow in your development. So this is what makes it so good. And the thing about this knowledge we got now, I also met a lot of people who looked at themselves as being intellectual, not religious, not spiritual either. But once they hear this message, it brings up a curiosity where they say, I can get with this. This is so much fun. Because at the end of the day, it's a health message. See, when you bring on this energy like that, connecting the mind and the body, you're going to be healthy. You can think clearly. And this is something that's worthy just to be on that level, because Health also brings forth a happy life. So this is why this whole revolution is changing now, to bring these new energies within the body so everybody can wake up. And then the more your body get healthier on the path you took, then you start looking at the external and you want to make changes there, something that's unbalanced, because that also goes with your thinking on how the external is going. So this is a beautiful age we're in. And again, I thank you again for bringing out that book, and there's other resources, but that's a great one to really start building up this mental mind so it can have an understanding of what it's trying to do.
Well, what it did for me too is that it allowed me to suspend my disbelief in things I couldn't understand and say, how is this book connected to his lineage living with me? How is this book applicable to me being able to drive fast? Now, I like what you said about this is a health message, okay? Because I'm a health practitioner, and that's been how I've made a living since I was 18. You know, being in a wheelchair as a child and saying, you know, the doctor's telling me you're probably not going to walk again, less than 5% chance without a wheelchair, a brace, or a crutch. And I had to go into my supernatural abilities and start getting in touch with meditation. That's when I started learning meditation at 11 and rebuilding my body. And it wasn't a miracle overnight. I was in that wheelchair for 4 years with 5 surgeries. So what was the miracle? A miracle was a change in consciousness. A miracle was I wasn't doomed to what outside my senses were telling me, but inside my revelation expressed to me that this is temporary. It's teaching me something. Bless the suffering, learn the wisdom, get the gift, and see yourself in the future getting that marathon, running a marathon, which I did in 1999. But let's go back to health. It's a health message. It's not about an Indian lineage or a Christian lineage or a Buddhist lineage. What it is about every single soul is God on the inside. So until you clear yourself of all your obstructions, you can't go in and write your own Bible. You can't go in and open your own wisdom, Holy Grail. You're going to be stuck out here trying to figure out how everybody else did it. Now, the books are just keys to point us to, wow, what about me? What about me? What about me? Jesus and all these other gurus said, you'll do greater things than these. How can we do greater things? Well, first of all, you have to have reception. That means
Right.
you have to be in homeostasis and allow the energy to deliver the wisdom. So what happens? When I lie down to meditate, Athena, Tina, Renee, Castaldi disappeared, and the vision came in, and ask and you shall receive. This body's a genie lamp. I rubbed the genie lamp. I asked for what I wanted. They gave it to me, and I wasn't ready. I almost got electrocuted because I wasn't in tune. So take this health message to heart and shift your body at the level of your allowing, and find the inner religion, your inner love song that you're writing to yourself as the universe, as you, as the omnipresent field of all of it, and see how clean you can get.
Absolutely, because you said the key word, we're the God of our reality, the creative force of our reality, the supreme being of your reality. This, like today, you'll be thinking on a level like I was looking today, this is the best day ever. I'm going to love everybody. I'm going to love everything. I'm going to do something positive because I choose to. And when you start living in this body and living in this energy, your life will completely change. Because keep in mind, these thoughts that we send out are magnetic. You understand? So when you start studying and thinking on this level, this is the stuff you start drawing to you. I draw positive people to me, great events, great locations, because this is how I choose to think. And when you got a vehicle that don't have all that negativity and toxicity, you can think even better on that level. You don't have to stay at that low frequency vibration of fear, suffering, negativity. You can break that frequency. But it all starts out again. Love yourself, take it slow, and the vehicle will go back into his supernatural nature to be the supreme being of his life.
So I'm happy that you brought that up, and I want to talk about radio stations and radio waves because, okay, so I have clients that come to me at the Mystic Journey. I'm an intuitive reader, and a lot of them come in a state of suffering, the low bandwidth. They don't have a clean diet. They don't have a meditation practice on a regular basis, and then they have a problem that comes in. There's mainly 2 radio stations, and they're all in gradations of octaves, but let's just say fear and love, okay? She comes in, he comes in, this is happening with my job, this is happening with my relationship, this is happening, and they're in this problem density frequency, and they can't get out of that reception. Simultaneously, there's another dimension that if they tuned into it with their practice, whatever that is, they would be able to see and hear and know that omnipresent message that this is all going for your benefit. The universe is user-friendly. This is happening to help you evolve. The suffering is pushing you in. That suffering where they're coming to ask me, oh, what's my future? Well, it's not about your future. It's about your frequency. Your fortune is in your resonance. Your resonance is your residence. That's your home. That's where you live. Are you in the basement of your 666 fear, fear, fear? Are you in 777 heaven, heaven, heaven? How is this glorious universe connected? So I randomly hold a thought. I love the universe. I want to sing. The last client of the night on Sunday comes and tells me, oh, I just broke up with my partner and I'm a kirtan artist. And I said, wow, that's interesting. I sing kirtan. And then yesterday he invites me to sing at the beach with all these kirtaniyas. Now that's my dream. Out of reception, I pushed the river and I'm like, I got to create a band. I got to think of this. I've got to go to a festival. I got to figure out how to sing it. I don't know how to speak Sanskrit. What's going to happen? And letting go and trusting the love of the universe. Somebody gets delivered to me, invites me to the kirtan, wants to be in musicianship. And now I'm singing and chanting things that I really love. That seems like a miracle.
Absolutely. Seems like a miracle, but it was all natural, because now you're understanding frequency, vibration, and this universe that we live in. Now, this is the key. Of course, when you're blind with the low frequency, of course, a person's looking at the world differently with that tree of good and evil mentality. But when you start really living with the tree of life, everything you put out, your wildest dreams will keep unfolding. I mean, things will just come to you. You're already there. You're having the benefits of it. You're happy. And once you start experiencing this frequency more and more and more, this will help you to keep maintaining it. Because some people will ask me sometime about certain frequencies, do you still want to eat this or do that? And I don't want to, because I don't like the frequency that it will put me on. You understand? That's what it boils down to. I'm enjoying where I'm at right now. I'm having such a great time vibrating on this frequency. Is just wonderful. And I feel good, and the skin is clear, the thinking is clear, the eyes is clear. It's just, I could go on and on and on. And like, again, just from that thought process, I'm meeting wonderful people. Whether we talk verbally or not, I'm having a good time looking at consciousness at play. It's everybody, it's for everybody. But all you have to do is maintain this, and your universe around you will change.
Now, I want to go back to the health message, okay? Because I think it's really important that the health of your thoughts are creating your reality. You're beaming that thought out on that love vibration, and then let's say your dreams are coming true. Here's the health message. How healthy is it for you to beam the negative low density thoughts of fear, victimization, poverty, lack, arguing, war, watching the news? You beam that out, and guess what you get? You get that weather. Remember I told you about the pool guy? He's like, oh, it's windy over here. They're shutting off the power. There's a destruction. And he comes over here like 2 miles away. Wow, it's so beautiful. The sun is shining. It's peaceful. There's no wind. And I said, mind your mind. Do you think this has anything to do with your mind? Our mind is creating the field at which we receive the vibrations of cosmic consciousness. So the most important thing I can do when I wake up is meditate. Calm my mind. I don't want to think about my problems. If I have a meditative empty mind, the solution will appear on the screen as soon as the problem does, and I can navigate my day correctly. So meditation being meditating with your body, your qigong, your tai chi, your yoga, clearing the nadis and opening up the system, your silent meditation, focusing on the breath up and down the spinal column. Imagine the breath coming down the left side, and it's bringing in the cosmic light and pushing up the right side, all the soot, all the negativity, all the astral debris, like pig pen in the peanuts, like all that dust cloud. Leave that out. Come in with the light, exhale what's not needed. Then when you open up your eyes and you come into your 3D walk-a-day world, allow the presence to come with you on your journey.
Absolutely. This is so wonderful. You're basically preparing your vehicle for source energy. This is very powerful to actually manifest itself on this realm. So again, like you said, when you got that book of the Yogi, it's no longer for people in the past, for Jesus. It's these works we can do right now. And that thought process and your health, there is a thing called mental health. All of this goes together. So you can live a good, peaceful, and happy life. That's what it boils down to as we keep raising our vibration.
So we have a retreat coming up, and Elitom El-amin is going to be in Southern California in Sherman Oaks, staying at the Sound Palace Temple, which we are right now. I think I showed you guys a little bit of the temple. Beauty, 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 lots of love. So as art imitates life and life imitates art, and we're the artists of our own life, we become creators. And to be able to reboot together for 7 days on 11/11, we have a couple spots left. And then we have a nice retreat for Thanksgiving where you don't have to celebrate killing animals, or, you know, what you said, somebody put a turkey on a hit list and now the turkey's at the mercy of everybody else's holiday experience. So what we're going to do is we're going to devote our gratitude with our Qigong and our Tai Chi and our yoga and our breath and our mantra and our mudra and our kirtan. I'm going to learn some kirtan when you get here, Elitom. I know you play the guitar. I'm going to sing with you.
That's going to be awesome.
If you're interested, there's a link below. You can tune in and register now. We still have a middle price special. At the end of the month, it's going to go up again to 28. So, or 56, I can't remember. But do us a favor. Please take care of your temple. Take care of your life, your light, your love. And if you're interested, please subscribe to Elitom El-amin's channel and my channel, and stay tuned. This is lecture 9 out of 11. And I guess we'll see you next week with another couple lectures before you come out in person.
Oh, and I can't wait. This is going to be so good. And I just did a retreat in Chicago, for instance, and it was a woman who only could make it one day because she got this business and stuff like this. But as we started doing the meditations and the energy was running through her body, tears came out her eyes because she missed that feeling. She loved getting her energy channels open, her chakras open. And then those tears turned to joy. She said, "Thank you so much for reminding me about how precious this is." So again, at this retreat, we're going to be out there for, 7 days straight working on these energy channels. Take advantage of these things, you understand? Well, you got people of like mind who care about working with the light. See, the light has the value that you give it. And it will work for you when you give it that value with that gratitude. And all it needs is a vessel to say, use me, use me. And it will come into this vessel.
Use me, use me. I wanted to come into this vessel. So Elitom El-amin, thank you so much. I love you. My life is completely changed. I wanted to end on this one thing. I wrote that Breatharian mantra October the 26th, 2018. And I sang it. And now I attracted you to me. And I found it yesterday and I sent it to you. I'll put a link at the end of that for the mantra. And I was just singing on the guitar and I was still eating. I was eating. I mean, I was intermittent liquid fasting, but I was eating. But I'm singing, I'm a breatharian. And now I'm going to do the process with you back to back in November. And I am a breatharian. I'm going to confirm that that is my pranic life state.
Right. That's how you have to think. I am. I am peace. I am love. I am a breatharian. I am the source. And that automatically will attract the universal forces to that vessel. This is no game no more. These are affirmations that actually work.
Blessings and light, everyone. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Stay tuned.